My name is Rumbidzo Herbert Marembo, and I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm 28 years old, and here in Shanghai, I attend Shanghai DNG University, and I'll be graduating this coming June. And during that time, I managed to start a business with my partner, and that was back in 2023. We got our license in Lin-gang in March of 2023. You'll find that over 80% of African countries do not have a self-sustaining industry. So a lot of the goods that they use day to day, machinery from cars to household appliances, are all imports. And over 90% of those imports are from China. So we figured there's a gap in the market for us to penetrate the market and try to tap into that multi-billion-dollar trade industry between China and Africa. So in all that thinking, we figured it would be easier if we start with a place that we're familiar with. For example, shipping from China specifically to Zimbabwe. And then from there we figured, you know what, the whole region is there for the taking. No one else is doing this. So we decided to then step out of Zim and also go into South Africa.
Herbert, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's have a look around.
Oh yeah, sure, let's go.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
When you decided to start your company, how did you see the foreign investment landscape? Because you're not a Chinese citizen. What was it like setting up a company that tries to bridge that divide between China and Africa? You know, because you're an export business. Was it difficult? Was it challenging?
Thank you for that question. It's a very good question. We try as much as we can to exploit the opportunities that are available to us as foreigners, because the government has several incentives for local venture capitalists to work with foreign collaborators. And also we try as much as we can to leverage our foreignness to also try to get people to see what we're trying to build and chip in terms of resources, like it could be money, it could be access, because again, you see, because we're not locals, some of the spaces that we need to find ourselves in order to advance our business. For example, we have consultants, Chinese consultants, who, if we want to do something we've never done before, they're always on call. You know, they come through and then they help us. Oh, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. So there's always need to have some kind of like a cooperation with locals in terms of their different fields of specialty. So that really helps us to go day by day.
And I suppose that kind of expertise is a bit more readily available in an area like Lin-gang.
Oh yes, definitely. So this area, as we grew to learn during our research before we settled here, we learned that this is a free trade zone and it's being specially set aside for high-tech companies. The specific area is really, really focused on that, and it's a great environment to foster ideas that impact, particularly future AI, autonomous, daily living, all these things. So this area is a really great place for anyone who's thinking about impactful ideas, impactful companies that are going to be big in the next coming years.
So explain to us a little bit about your business and what you guys do.
Usually, our biggest selling items on our platform are phones, computers, and clothes. So a person would typically go on our platform, search what they're looking for, and then when they make the purchase, we will then forward the money to the supplier. The supplier sends the goods to us, we inspect, we take videos, and then when the client confirms that, okay, yes, this is what indeed I paid for, and then we will ship it. So we're conveniently located close to the Pudong International Airport, so we ship by ourselves. We use different airlines. The customer receives them and then they confirm on the platform that they've received their product. Because we also have infrastructure in Zimbabwe and in South Africa where we can do doorstep deliveries. Mm-hmm. So someone will ask, why can't I just use already, platforms that are being used already, like the Alibabas or the... So our thing is, I'll give a specific example of Zimbabwe. A lot of our population are unbanked. Mm-hmm. So some of the payment options that are most popular, you won't find them on mainstream platforms. So for example, paying in cash. We allow people to pay in cash on our platform.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we also have local mobile payments, mobile money services. Mm-hmm. So we set it up specifically for our demographic. Mm-hmm. And then we intend to build a model that we can export to the region and then the rest of the continent.
When you were setting up the company, how did you find the financial regulation aspect and the financial incentives? Because there are a lot of special incentives that are offered in this area, in the free trade zone.
So here's where that consulting thing comes in. for example, when it comes to customs clearing, there's a platform where all stakeholders who are involved in the logistics industry, they get the first news on policy changes, on goods that can and cannot be brought into China, all these things. So first, you need to know the right people, the people who will be on top of all this information as soon as the law changes. And then the second thing is, as a startup, we needed to be very frugal with how we use our resources. So with Chinese customs, we ended up getting to know about how if you import a certain number of goods, and same goes for exporting as well, you start to get export incentives, discounts on imports. There's policies like that. So we would not have gotten to know that if we didn't have to network with the local officials involved in those sectors. So the policy support is tremendous.
Yeah. And I guess that feeds back into that issue of talent and the concentration of it that you find in an area like this.
Oh yes, definitely. So we are surrounded by universities. I can count 5, and all of them are producing graduates every year. And also the government is heavily incentivizing companies to take on students as apprentices, as interns. So we look to that as an opportunity to be in good books with the government.
And I guess that really supports any expansion plans you may have as well.
Beyond Africa, we also intend to go into Latin America. So all these things, it's one big ecosystem. We are registered in 3 countries, but we intend that if someone excels from any part of that, they will join the larger global KOKI network of companies. The broader vision for the company itself is the region, the continent, other parts of the world that may need tailor-made logistics and e-commerce services for them, because you find that the big platforms don't really cater for the smaller economies, whereas we come from an economy that's built on informal businesses. So, and there's a lot of those all around the world. So that is the vision to tap into all sort of informal economies and formalize them through the e-commerce space.
Herbert, that was fantastic. So great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.